remain silent for a moment because of the sound that'll come bursting out. So just give me a moment. Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Newman, and this is the Saturday Human Colony Hucolo webinar. It is Saturday, the 20th of June, 2020, and today our special guest channeler is Tyler Ellison. Hi, Tyler.
Hello, Karen. Thank you for having me. Love to all
Hi.
of you.
So in the room today, we have Dawn, we have Tyler, of course, Kathy, Celia, Christine, JLo, Michelle, Maria, Sean, and Dawn again, because he likes to be here so much. He's here twice. And if anyone wants to come in the room, we have plenty of space. So Dawn will put the link in the YouTube. So if you want to come in the room, that would be great. You're welcome. All right. So we'll start off with a couple blessings. We'll start with Kathy. Go ahead, Kathy.
Good morning, everyone. Ane shinulia makovenashe, shukulu aleosha, hukuru makaru konote pachum, tule ale malo, sharuda la lotu tala masini, maturo venzonore, ashata kura bakane pluro, ulu alari noru, shalama lalu triumalo, hukota tahu asha, prisilo la lota mate, aluano holoto manesi prilu, kuko shinola sharadioma paruadi, toshi malo konote malaru, Maturo Mataru Asha. Namaste.
Thank you. Dawn. Are you there? There he is.
Tarasnotavat, Pitaru Kuro, Yapkaru, Eniska Au, Yakau, Kunduskau, Yau Nuvaka, Yakatasha, Shako, Yatreltoko, Moatria, Kashanais.
Thank you. I'm going to do one, but I haven't done anything in a long time. So I'm going to sing my guru song. And it's basically, it goes Ong, O-N-G, Namo, Guru Dev Namo. And it's saying I bow to the inner guru of myself and the inner knowing of myself. So I just play it for you. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo, Om Namo, 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 Guru Dev Namo, Namo, Guru Dev Namo, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Ve Namaha, Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo, Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo, Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo, Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo.
That was beautiful, Karen.
Tyler.
All right.
We'll move to you one moment. Me.
Sawatata yana iotoko shalato tapoita yadoko rata naito sholo to watano watoko da pishana lita kodawaton tudura toka naika to shanapo. Infinite love, blessings, appreciation for all beings here. Thank you, extraterrestrial guides, earth guides, angelic guides, and all beings for facilitating and holding this sacred space of co-creation.
So before we get started, why don't you just tell everyone your website, where they can find you in case people are coming in and out? How can they find you? How can they get in touch with you?
Sure, that's a great question. So simplest is simple to contact me for sessions. Email me at Ellison, TELLISON 700 @gmail.com. That's the quick and easy way to get in contact with me for a session. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you can also Facebook message me and we can have that conversation there. My Facebook name and my Facebook business page are just Tyler Ellison. I am building a new website that will soon be up and running, and I will have all that information made public very shortly, but I'm very excited about the new website. So
Cool.
simplest of simple, find me at tellison700 @gmail.com, and my YouTube channel where I, about every week, give or take maybe 8 days or so, I have new videos uploaded that are either me expressing esoteric teachings and philosophies or are just full-blown free channelings. And I'm actually starting to do interviews, and I today will be posting an interview I did yesterday with my Qigong teacher, Lauren Johnson, who is a senior Universal Healing Tao instructor. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's the lineage that Montauk Chia, world's most famous Taoist, brought to the West. So I am now an associate instructor in that lineage. And I interviewed Lauren, who was the instructor that sort of brought me in. And it's a great interview that'll be up today at a certain point. So you can check out Health Thyself, and that's at YouTube. And you'll find over like 50 videos there that have been uploaded over the last 2 to 3 years, give or take.
Perfect. Great. And do you have any events coming up or anything anyone can join?
Yeah, we have some events coming up. I have an event coming up next Sunday, and I'm collaborating with an organization called Nourish Your Soul TV. And if you go to their website, you can find the promo, or how would I describe it? You can find a link that you can click that'll give you the purchase option for the upcoming event. And that's called Messages from the Ocean. And that's going to be where Ryuk is bringing in beings from Sirius, beings from Atlantis, because that's apparently becoming highly relevant right now. So if you're interested in that event, go to Nourish Your Soul TV, I believe that's .com. But you can find all of that and more there for upcoming events.
Perfect. Okay. So today we're going to speak with Ryuk, I guess.
Yeah, correct. He's the main person I bring through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do is everyone as we'll have Ryuk come, and then at one point we will take questions. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. The way it normally happens, at least in the typical structure he delivers, is he'll give some kind of opening lecture about whatever topic he feels is relevant for all of us, and then he opens it up to questions. So yeah. If he does what he typically does, that is how it will flow.
Okay. So everyone in the chat, if you are interested in having a question, just put me or Q, and then I will know. You don't need to remind me. I am keeping track of everybody. So if for whatever reason I went to someone who asked for a question before you and I come back to you, it's only because I feel inspired to put that person ahead of you in line, but I will get to everyone. So just please be patient and we'll have fun. Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Thank you everybody for being here, and please enjoy. I know I will. So
much love to you. Okay.
All right, and we thank each and every single one of you for the co-creation of this interaction. It is our civilization's highest joy, passion, and ecstasy to be able to have these types of co-creative dialogues with you and your people. We will begin today's transmission with the following idea. Your life is a lucid dream. Now, we understand that this is a common teaching that many of you have been given in relationship to some of your fairy tales, in relation to some of your sayings, some of your nursery rhymes, the idea of life being but a dream. What does that exactly mean? To allow for life, to see life as a dreaming experience. First and foremost, what it means is the following. On a fundamental level, you are creating everything within the reality without exception. Everything you perceive is a reflection, is an extension, is a projection of your own consciousness, of your own energy. The foundational energy of that projection, of that dream, is unconditional love. The reason that this underlying energy is unconditional love is the following. Because everything that exists is permitted and allowed to exist without conflict in the truest sense. In other words, you can have in the same dreamscape polarity, things that would normally repel one another, things that would normally repulse one another, existing within the same world, existing within the same paradigm. The reason you have in your experience a duality, which is technically a trinity, is because the underlying energy is unconditional love. It allows for all perspectives to express themselves, no matter how contrasting, no matter how contradictory they may appear. So, many of you have the understanding that you are all just a dream within the mind of God. If the underlying energy of this dream is unconditional love, then the underlying energy of the truest dreamer, so to say, is unconditional love. So to allow for yourself to be that ultimate dreamer, aligned with that energy that is what you are at your core, which is unconditional love. And that is how you can begin to lucidly dream your life. For when you are operating with energies that are other than unconditional love, you are putting restrictions upon your co-creative energy. Now, understand, restrictions are not inherently negative, as we have said before. Limitation can be expressed in a neutral, positive, and negative way. However, when you are operating from energetics that are contradictory or are not in alignment with unconditional love, it's as if you are putting negative limitation on your ability to dream. Think of it like this. Unconditional love is a perspective that allows for you to see 360 degrees around you. It allows for you to see every direction, every perspective, knowing that every direction and every perspective is you. Therefore, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's no loss. There's no threat if you choose to look at things in a different way. You understand that if you try on a new shirt, you're not going to be damned for putting on a new shirt. You're simply trying on a shirt before you buy it. And understand that unconditional love allows for you to observe reality through the points of view of others, through the points of view of different beings, whether that be another person in your reality or simply another expression of your own multidimensional consciousness. It's unconditional love that allows for you to see the bigger picture. But when you are operating from fear or grief or hatred or jealousy or resentment, it's as if that 360-degree perspective shrinks and you are only able to perceive that which those energies permit. And the idea is that, generally speaking, many of you will wander in these more, you could say, negative energies until you have that moment of realization where you say, something in this paradigm doesn't add up. Something in my experience doesn't really make sense here. And that's when you become lucid and you wake up in the dream. What wakes you up in the dream is unconditional love. That's why you have your evolutionary momentum. That's why you have your peaks in your growth, because unconditional love essentially taps you awake, and you are then able to easily understand that there is more than meets the eye, that your perspectives that seemed fundamentally true, that seemed unconditional, are actually malleable perspectives that you can toggle, that you can manipulate, that you can edit in whatever way, shape, or form you prefer. So you can then expand your lucid dreaming experience to be in alignment with that 360-degree point of view. Whenever you align with unconditional love, when you are in challenging situations, that is how you access the lucid dreaming energy, so you can actually then see what path of navigation is most in alignment with your natural self. And when you take that choice, when you move in alignment with that direction, that is when you allow for your higher self to flow through your body, so you can create your reality experience in ways that are representative of your highest preference. The being you know as the Bashar has delivered a specific formula. It is this formula of following one's passion with no insistence of any particular outcome, to the best of one's ability, that allows for you to perpetually lucid dream your experience, so you can see the bigger picture, which is fundamentally more of yourself. Understand that your civilization, your collective, is going through what our society has called the splitting prism of parallel realities. We understand that in your news media, in your reality experiences, many of you are observing what appear to be energetics that are representative of that which you don't prefer. Many of you would address these energies as negative energies. But understand, this splitting prism effect is in many ways creating the idea of a boundary, a border, a wall between your personal reality and the realities of others. In other words, you have a buffer, you have a barrier that does not necessarily segregate you, that does not isolate you, but allows for you to become familiarized with your own energy, so you can then neutrally observe the energies of the other realities without judgment, without feeling like you need to match their frequency, without feeling like you need to take something on that's not yours. So you can then say, wait a minute, what this other person is saying, what this other being is doing, is not in alignment with my preference. And through observing that, I now have clarity. I now have context to understand what is my passion, what is my preference, so I can then be bold and act that out and live that energy out in my life. For understand, that is in many ways a gift. The negative energies that you perceive in the other realities is a gift. The reason it's a gift is, in order to know yourself, you must have an other to compare yourself to. For the one, the undifferentiated source, does not know itself. It expresses itself as all that is. It expresses itself as infinite perspectives, infinite reflections, so it can get to know itself from infinite different points of view. That is all of you. So understand, when someone in your reality demonstrates a negative energy or a negative perspective, it has no implication within your reality except for the implication, the meaning that you create. But if you choose to see it as a gift, to see it as a reflection that allows for you to understand more greatly what is your passion by seeing what is not, then you can use that negative situation in a positive way, which allows for you to then integrate it fully, so you no longer have to then experience it externally. And when you integrate that which you don't prefer, it ceases to be reflected in your external reality dream. And as you become masters of this integrative process, you will cease to experience negative expressions of reality within your earth experience. And you will, in that sense, have shifted to a unique parallel reality series that represents your highest passion in motion. Now understand, state of being, the energy that you adorn, is everything. That is why we have put the emphasis upon the energetics of unconditional love, because that is the true underlying energy. That is the true energy of ultimate integration. When you are in alignment with unconditional love, you will then become aware of the actions that you can take in your reality when you are with yourself, when you are with others, that are in alignment with that energy of love, of joy, of peace, of passion. In order to fully crystallize the reality of your preference, action is paramount. The state of being of love is not enough to create the reality of your preference. The state of being is what it is to inspire you to take actions that represent that state of being, so you then crystallize that state of being into your reality. Once you have crystallized the state of being into your reality, you begin to observe that state of being then showing up in the reality reflection that appears to be around you, but is simply a projection of your own consciousness. So the action is paramount, with no expectation of what the action must do, simply taking the action knowing the following: what you put out is what you get back. So if you are putting out actions that are based in unconditional love, then you are guaranteed some kind of reflection that's a match for that energy. You are not guaranteed what it will look like, how it will manifest, but when you embody that action, because of the way the reality works, that energy is guaranteed to reflect in some way, because that's just the physics of reality. That's just the way the mechanism is built. So if you feel you need an expectation, if you feel your physical mind says, I need something to hold on to, you can hold on to that knowing that what you put out is what you get back. And you have the phrase in your civilization, actions speak louder than words. In other words, when you take an action, you are emanating a higher frequency, so you get a higher effect. We thank you for your attention in the transmission thus far. We will now take any questions or comments or inquiries that you and your collective may have at this time.
Thank you, Ryok. Welcome once again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is our highest joy to be here with you in this unique expression of the now.
Perfect. Okay, the first question will come from Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Right.
Sean, can you unmute? Let me see. Yeah, there he goes. Okay.
Sorry about that. Hi, Rio.
Greetings, good day. How are you, dear one?
I'm well, thanks. Nice to hear from you. And thank you, Hucolo. You allowed me to ask a question last time, and I wasn't a member, so I thought that was really cool. So I signed up. So now I'm a member. My question is, this is the action phase of my passion. I've just finished a book of poems called Long Hill. Long Hill is a nature reserve I visit often that has trees from all around the world. A lot of the poems are about nature. Some are Native American. Some poems are Native American themed. Some are Egyptian themed, and others sort of have like a Da Vinci flavor to them.
All right.
And my question is, these poems sort of present themselves, and I'm interested in the origins of the poem, like where
your own imagination. They come from that which you are. Now understand, you're drawing upon a variety of different energies and sources, but the true source is yourself. You may have, so to say, messengers of those energies that may manifest as elementals or as extra dimensionals or as nature spirits. But remember, those external energies are you. So the source is you, but it may be revealed or reflected to you through certain messengers that you would consider to be certain spiritualized forms of consciousness, as well as certain organic biological forms of earth-based consciousness.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, you are quite welcome.
Do I have a incarnation as a Native American, do I have a relationship to me, possibly Lakota?
Well, understand two things. If you have an interest, you definitely have a relationship. If it exists, you have a relationship to it because you are inseparable from the whole of existence. Do you have an incarnation as a Native American? You do not, because you are your own incarnation. Your soul, however, does. So understand, it is your soul that incarnates into the other lifetime, so to say. You as an incarnation don't have another incarnation, but the soul that is dreaming you is also dreaming the other simultaneous incarnation. So your soul has incarnations as what you consider to be Native Americans, as well as other indigenous peoples throughout your timeline version of Earth, as well as alternate timeline versions of Earth.
Great. Thanks, Rio.
Yes, and we thank you for your question.
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome. I'm done. I'll unmute myself.
All right. Our love to you eternally, dear one, and we thank you for your participation in this co-creation.
Thank you.
All right. There's a question from Kathy with a C. Kathy.
Hello, Ryok. Thank you for coming and speaking with us today.
Yes, yes, it is our highest joy and passion. How are you, dear one?
I am very well. I have two questions. The first is, I would like your perspective on how to deal with family members, but people in general, who utilize guilt as a way of getting people to do what they want to do. How do we stay in our joy and deal with those people? Because if we do what they want, we're going to be out of our joy. And anything we kind of say is going to lower our vibration. So how would you approach that? I'd be interested in hearing your perspective on it.
By choosing love. Now, we know that's general. We're going to break that down. As we have said before, what appears to be another person in your reality that's emanating a certain frequency that you don't prefer, that is actually taking place in a different reality. Begin to sense the barrier. There's a literal energetic barrier, boundary between your reality and theirs. Begin to understand the felt quality of that wall of frequency separation.
Mm-hmm.
And as you begin to sense that wall of frequency separation, what you'll find is that wall is actually neutral in its energy. It's a neutral zone between the two realities. And it's that neutralization that in many ways is creating the separation effect between the two reality experiences. Make sense so far?
Yes.
As you become familiarized with that neutral energy, you can then detect and observe the neutral energy within you. Because if you experience it outside of you, inside of you, it is somehow contained. It's somehow present. So sense that boundary, sense the neutrality in you. Neutrality is slightly positive because in neutrality, you have the freedom of choice, which is a positive energy. The freedom to choose is a positive energetic expression. So when you go into neutrality, you are actually leaning slightly towards the positive. Positive energy is synchronized, is in and of itself energy dynamics that are based in unconditional love. So as you begin to align with the neutral, you're aligning with the positive, you're aligning with love. As you align with love, your perspective then expands to the 360-degree point of view we mentioned earlier. From that point of view, you can then, without any sense of pressure from the other person, knowing that that's taking place in another reality, it actually has no effect on you except the effect you create within your own reality.
Right.
From that awareness, begin to explore the different options of navigation that are available to you in relationship to the situation. You may find that the most exciting option available to you may have nothing to do with that other person, and you may actually be guided to explore your life in a very exciting way, and that exploration in a seemingly tangential direction to the situation may actually be the path that reveals to you the insight to more greatly understand how you can follow your joy in relationship to that uncomfortable relationship. Does that make sense for you?
Yes, it makes sense, but in a practical sense, I'm trying to figure out how. So we would have to try to find
Not
a-
try,
right.
not find, allow.
We
Live
would have
your
to
life.
allow
Yes.
ourselves to find a loving response to their energy by
Yes.
finding the neutral first.
Yes, precisely.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I got it.
All right, all right. Because understand, it is practical if you can believe it to be practical. The only reason it seems impractical is because you have, generally speaking, belief systems that say, if I choose love in relationship to this situation, somehow something negative will happen.
Right.
But understand, that's just a belief that actually is your energy that creates your own negative experiences in your reality. So understand,
Right.
the neutral helps you to separate the energies so you can understand that which is your highest preference and that which is not. And through that understanding, you then have greater clarity to navigate the reality in the way you prefer. Understand, their energy has no effect until you assign their energy a definition, a meaning that then creates an effect in your reality. So if you define their energy as something that has no negative effects upon you, but actually has positive effects in your reality, then that is the only effect you can possibly derive from their reflection, because that's the way you're coding the program. That's the face you're holding up to the mirror. If you're smiling at the mirror, it can only smile back.
Got it. Yeah, I got it.
Is that clear for
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Right.
Now I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You are
My second question is more for everyone. How can everybody, especially people who are newly awakened and don't know a lot about energy, how can we best utilize this solstice energy right now? As in a practical sense, what can we do, or what can I tell people when they're going into a meditation today, how they can utilize this energy to the best?
deeply connecting with your earth will be paramount. Deeply connecting with the earth, barefoot on the earth, touching the planet, immersing your senses into the planet, immersing your senses into the natural environment, immersing your senses into the fractalized patterns that are the expressions of the plant beings within your forests, or the mineral beings that express themselves as your crystals and rocks. Time in nature. Understand, the summer solstice is correlated with your sun. That is why you say, in many ways, it's one of the longest days, so to say, because the sun is being, in many ways, energetically amplified. You're allowing greater frequencies of energy and information in. Your physical planet is absorbing that energy. And as you connect with your planet, you begin to absorb the energy. Understand that when fire as an energy is out of balance, that is when you begin to feel as if you're burning up with certain feelings such as agitation, frustration, impatience. And as you connect with the earth, it's as if you are grounding that amplified fire energy, and you're using the earth as a rechargeable battery to assist you in holding these amplified fire energies so you can explore that enhanced fire, that enhanced power from a more neutral point of view, thus allowing for you to hold it for the duration of the season. What you do today will have a ripple effect into the duration of this season. It's as if you are today programming the baseline energies for the remainder of the season with your actions today. So understand, actions in many ways come from states of being. Choose your preferred state of being, love, joy, passion, ecstasy, and then begin to imagine, begin to dream creative actions that you can take that are in alignment with that preferred energy. Take those actions with no expectation of what will occur. And you, in that sense, are programming the entire season to have that momentum. Does this answer your question for you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You are quite welcome, dear one.
Namaste. Have a good day.
Namaste. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was I thought I was unmuted. Don, we'll take the questions from the chat after we get through the questions of the room. So, Alan, go ahead.
Okay, greetings there.
Greetings, good day. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm a little confused because I felt the urge to ask a question, but I'm not too sure what I wanted to ask. So I'm just gonna ask if you would have like any message that would be most relevant to me.
All right. Well, may we ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you believe in right and wrong?
Not really. No.
All right. Now, may we ask you another question?
Yes.
Do you recognize that whatever you say, whatever you do, whatever you express is fundamentally perfect?
Yes. Now I do.
All right. Now, we will ask you one more. Is that okay?
Yeah. Sure.
Where does the confusion arise from?
Confusion arises from the fact that I don't know where the confusion arises from.
All right. Now, if you wish, we can explore the nature of confusion in hopes that it won't confuse you too much. Is that okay?
Sure. I guess confusion wasn't really the right word. I just felt a need to ask a general question without knowing exactly. I didn't have a specific path I wanted to pursue down.
All right. Well, that's not too much of a question, yes?
It's not, but I guess sort of a message.
All right. So in that sense, you desire a message.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your question. Now, understand the following. When you allow for yourself to interact with others and communicate with others and express yourself with the energy of unconditional love, you will find that your inner state of knowingness becomes obvious to you. Confusion comes from the following: the idea of the direction you're moving into and the current energy you're embodying seeming to be in conflict. But recognize where you are at is a stepping stone to your next step, to the next location, so to say, within your physical reality experience of yourself. Now understand, it's all here and all now, but we're simply using the idea of step and location as a metaphor because your archetypal consciousness is based on the idea of a journey and adventure. Make sense so far?
Yes. Yeah.
So valuing, validating, loving, enjoying where you are now creates a clear knowingness in relationship to the direction you are moving towards. So that way you can experience that next step flawlessly. You only become confused when the natural love that you are becomes obscured. One of the ways the love that you are becomes obscured from your awareness is when you get stuck in your head. But you're not really getting stuck. You might be creating the experience of ruminating and vorticeing yourself and staying up in the brain, but that's just a choice. It's a choice that you're making. It's an action step, actually, that you're choosing based off beliefs that say, I must go up here instead of remaining in here. For those of you that are listening to this, we are pointing to the heart. The heart is the light. The heart is the sun that illuminates where you are so you can see where you are going. And when you have that clarity, there's no real room for confusion. Does this make some sense for you?
Yes. Yes.
All right. All right. Was that directive a message as you prefer?
That was, yes, I think that was exactly what needed to be.
All right. All right. Is there anything else you would like to explore today, dear one?
No, I'll let others ask. Thank you.
All right. Our unconditional love to you, and we thank you for your question.
Okay, there's a question from Celia. Go ahead, Celia.
Hello, Rio.
Greetings, good day. How are you?
I am very well, thank you.
All right.
I am new to the group and I am new into this journey of awakening. So what you have shared today is a little bit overwhelming for me to internalize and to understand.
All right. In what
But
way, shape, or form does it feel overwhelming to you, dear one?
how you project unconditional love that is coming from your core. I know that what you put out there is what you get back. I know that. Um, Specifically, my question would be on what we call tough love.
Tough love. All
Uh,
right.
because I'm dealing with
Is that where we hug you so tightly that you say, I almost can't breathe, but we love you. So we're
something like that.
not
Something like that.
something like that. All right.
Yeah, so I'm dealing with a 96-year-old mom
All right.
who's very healthy,
All right.
doesn't take any medication. She still can walk and she's still very lucid, and but she, like what Kathy was saying, she becomes manipulative sometimes, so that um, our routine every day will be to walk her for a mile.
All right.
Okay, so that will um, make sure that she stays healthy and stuff. Um, but she tries to, if she doesn't want to do it, she tries to kind of, she will walk 20 steps and she will stop. And I know that she is not, um, she's not feeling pain, because when I put her into my treadmill, she can walk for 40 minutes without rest. And so she will try me and kind of say that, I'm feeling pain, you're not feeling what I'm feeling, so don't judge me, blah blah blah. But in my core, I know that it's not true. So
You understand there are different expressions of pain. Some
uh-huh,
pain is physical, some pain is emotional, some pain
correct.
is mental. Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol for the idea of her feeling like she needs to take a stop in her inner journey, because there's something within her that's in resistance to her natural self. So even though she may not be experiencing pain in the way you understand it, that resistance comes from an inner sense of pain. Does this make some sense for you? Is this clear?
Yes, I understand that. It's like an emotional pain that she's trying to project to me. And I'm a little, I don't know how to handle it sometimes.
One moment. One
Okay.
moment. May we ask you a question?
Yes, please.
In what way is she attempting to project the pain onto you?
She would make, when I say project, I mean, she wants to let me know that she's experiencing pain.
All right.
Like, yeah, something like that. So she would.
Now, that's not necessarily projection. That's more of simply communication. She's telling you something, yes?
Yes. Sorry, I
projection's a little different.
Yes.
Projection is where someone takes an energy that is occurring within themselves that they don't really prefer, and they then, in many ways, overlay that energy of discomfort onto another person, and they then blame that other person as being responsible for their own inner state of discomfort. That is more so an accurate description of projection.
Well, sometimes she does that because, sometimes when she says, I need to rest because you're making me do things too much, something like that. So,
well, are you pushing her more than she is comfortable foregoing?
Based on my experience with what she can do, I feel I don't.
All right. Now, understand, many of you have the capacity to run a marathon, yes?
Yes.
Would you enjoy running a marathon every day?
No.
All right. Would you enjoy maybe using that energy that you use to run a marathon in other areas of your life that you're excited to use that energy towards?
Yes.
So maybe this is a meeting point between you and her to explore other ways she can engage in that natural energy, because there is more to health than just movement. Now, understand, movement is of course important, but health is not just a physical thing. Health comes from a holistic sense of your being. Now, understand, we are not giving you any medical recommendations. We are not doctors in that sense. We are extraterrestrials. So understand, it's important you go with your inner authority, so to say, and the medical guidance you are receiving from whomever you're receiving it from. But understand, in general, if an individual does not enjoy expending energy in a particular way, that may be their own inner self saying there's another path of passion for me to explore. And this may be an area of compromise. But understand, that's a conversation between you and her. We are simply exposing the idea of areas of negotiation and expansion in relationship to what may appear to you to be a roadblock. But understand, it's not really a roadblock. It's simply redirection.
Got it.
All right.
Got it. So since this is my, this is the beginning of my journey, is there something you can give me on how to thread along this awakening?
Following your heart. That's all you're required to do. Be yourself to the best of your ability in how you talk to yourself, how you think, how you treat others, the words you say. Be you. Embody you. Your energy is unconditional love. There is a meditation from the ancient tradition of Taoism of your earth. This meditation is known as the inner smile. Are you familiar with this practice?
No.
This meditation is a very gentle meditation that assists you or the practitioner in cultivating an awareness of unconditional love. And it's almost as if, using your imagination, you're washing your body in love, you're programming your organs, your cells to be in resonance with unconditional love. So after you discontinue the meditation, it's as if you have programmed the crystalline matrix that is your skeleton, that is your body, that is the water of your body, to be in resonance with love, with joy, with passion, so you can become a living symbol of those energies, so you can then understand more clearly what options of exploration, what choices, what actions are actually based in love and which ones are not, so you can have greater clarity in relationship to choosing them. Choose these options that represent your highest joy, your highest passion, with no expectation of what they need to do. Simply take them for the sake of taking them to the best of your ability. Once you've followed it as far as you can follow it, let it go completely and pick the next most exciting option. And that will infinitely raise your frequency. That is the formula of our people that the being known as Bashar, another being from our civilization, has spoken upon many times for approximately 30 of your years. So understand, this formula he has brought through will greatly assist you. But in general, to tune into those energies of love and joy, go into your heart. The inner smile meditation will greatly assist you in this process. For that is your natural energy. That is your natural state. And the purpose of your life is to simply be yourself. For you are created as a unique expression. Be that unique expression, and you will be fulfilling your highest purpose. Make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. And where can I find this inner smile meditation?
The channel himself teaches the meditation, and you will also find that there are many teachers of the meditation as well. The video platform you know to be YouTube also has a great deal of videos that demonstrate how to perform this meditative technique. So you have many options of exploration. We encourage you, choose the most exciting one with no expectation of what will occur.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
And thank you, dear one. Our unconditional love to you always.
Thank you. Okay, Jojo has a question. Jojo?
Thank you. Hi, Ryok. I'm happy to be able to interact with you this
Good
way.
day.
And so thank you. Thank you for the
It is our highest joy
interactions.
to be here interacting with you as well. How may we be of service to you in your experience of physical reality?
I was listening yesterday to one of your private sessions, and you spoke with a gentleman about fasting and water, and ionic water with minerals. And so my question is, with the water, is there a way, well, I haven't researched how to find it to purchase, but is there a way for me to create my own purified water with, you had mentioned it being empty water and then ionic minerals in it, if correct me if I'm saying it wrong. So I wanted to find out if it's possible, if you can give instructions to create my own. And then along with that, should that fasting be done at a moon cycle at all? Or is it irrelevant, just whenever I feel like doing it?
And that it's relevant in certain respects. You may find that it will be easier for you to fast if you are following the lunar cycle. When the moon, in that sense, is going from a full moon to a new moon, this is one of the more opportune times for fasting, because this is when your detoxification process on a cellular level becomes hyperactivated. So fasting is much easier during that time, rather than when you're going from new to full, which is where your body is cellularly building itself up. It's building its energy up to peak at the full moon, to then let it all go again, like the ocean tide, coming up and coming down, coming up and coming down. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, you may find that on certain days, your body is asking for less food. And it is all right, of course, to follow your own body wisdom. The idea is that tidal effect of up and down we mentioned of the moon is just to give you an understanding, generally speaking, of when fasting may be easier and more naturalistic to your body, but you will find your body will give you certain messages based on your own unique process. And it's important to follow your body's messages and your own discernment and awareness. Make sense so far?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In terms of purifying one's own water, there are certain forms of technology that can greatly assist in water detoxification and purification. There is what is known as distillation, and there are distillation units that can be purchased that will create empty waters. There are also what are known as reverse osmosis filtration devices, and these will also empty the waters. Now understand, when water is empty, it becomes a sponge for toxin. So in other words, for fasting with water to be very powerful without being too draining, cycling empty water that has been purified with empty water that has been remineralized will assist you in that sense in detoxing the cells and then charging the cells back up. Detoxing the cells, charging the cells back up. Mimicking again that idea of the up and down, expansion, contraction, right? And in that idea, when you squeeze a sponge, yes, all of the fluids, all of the waste in that water begins to become expelled, yes? Mm-hmm. And then when you fill the sponge back up with new water and you squeeze it again, the idea is there's more toxin that gets removed, yes?
Yeah. Okay.
Your body, in that sense, is the same way. And the cycling between empty water and empty water that has been remineralized can assist the body in its detoxification process. Now, as we have said before, we are not medical doctors. None of this, in that sense, is medical advice. However, we are simply sharing that which is, in our opinion, very beneficial for accelerating the detoxification and remineralization processes within your systems.
Mm-hmm. So for the benefit of someone who's listening who may not want to go to the trouble making their own, are there suitable ones out on the market that are appropriate to purchase?
There are a few, but one of the issues here that you may find is that it can actually work against your detoxification goals, in that most of your purified or distilled waters are stored in plastics.
Mm-hmm.
And plastics are actually one of the major contaminants, so to say, within biological systems of your physical reality. So it may not, in that sense, be the best choice. If the water is stored in glass, that is ideal. There are certain locations within your reality that have reverse osmosis purification machines where you can actually go and bring your own containers and fill them up with water that has been filtered using reverse osmosis and UV light. There are certain health food stores and department stores that carry such technologies that are actually in store. So you don't bring the machine home with you. You bring your containers to the store to fill up at the store.
Ah,
Does that make sense for you?
yes, that's helpful. And then Rio, since you mentioned earlier the sun and the fire, which then brought up a question that I've always had is many non-physical beings, ETs, talk a lot about the sun, but I rarely hear discussion about the moon.
All right.
And I wanted to know, there's a lot of theories out there about how it was created. I'm just wanting some more insight from you on the purpose of it, what we need to know about the moon, in other words, and how it can benefit us.
Yes, it's a blend of terrestrial and extraterrestrial energies. It's partially made of your Earth and it's partially made of extraterrestrial substances. So in that sense, it's partially terrestrial, partially extraterrestrial. That's one of the reasons why so many ETs have bases, as you say, on the moon, because the moon is in great resonance with the idea of extraterrestrial energies to begin with, and it acts as a way station between extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional perspectives and beings and the idea of your Earth. So understand that your moon is in that sense a way station, a halfway point. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, it does.
You can think of it like this. You're familiar with the idea of the aura?
Yes.
Think of it like this. The Earth is at the center of an auric bubble. The moon is at a halfway point between the outer circle, so to say, between the boundary of that bubble. Does that make sense for you? Does that translate okay?
Yes, it does for me.
All right. So understand that in many ways, extraterrestrials will work with the lunar energies because that's the middle ground between higher dimensional expressions of reality and your physical reality experience. The moon also has a very powerful magnetic, so to say, effect and certain gravitic effects on aqueous expressions of consciousness. Aqueous expressions of consciousness being your oceans, being the idea of your blood, your own cerebral spinal fluids, the oil of your Earth. All of this is gravitically entangled with the energetics of your moon and the rotation of your moon and the rotation of your planet in alignment with the rotation of the moon. So understand that it impacts the idea of aqueous consciousness. It programs aqueous consciousness. It's programming your oceans. It's programming your oil. It's programming your blood. It's programming your cerebral spinal fluid. All of this is being guided and programmed by the lunar energy. All of your fluids, so to say, have emotional connotations to them. In other words, every fluid you experience in your physical reality has a certain relevance to what you understand energetically as the emotional body. So understand that the moon has another effect in relationship to gravitic pushes and pulls of fluids. It also has a very powerful effect in relationship to emotional processes within you. In other words, as you're going from new to full, it brings emotions to the surface, positive or negative. It'll bring these to the surface. And then as it goes from full to new, it allows for you to release whatever of those energies you've brought to the surface you no longer need.
Wow.
Make sense?
It does. So if I am drawn to it, and I am so captivated by the moon and the stars, it's hypnotic for me. Like I can't get enough of it. What is the message there, I guess, for me or anyone else for that matter who is drawn to that?
Well, understand it is in many ways encouraging a few different things. Connection to the idea of the feelings, of the emotions. So in that sense, you can understand more of your total context in relationship to your journey. It helps you understand your feelings, because your feelings are guides. Your feelings are never a problem. Your feelings are never a burden unless they're defined as such. Your feelings, your emotions are guides. And as you understand more of your emotions, you understand more of how you're creating yourself to assist you in allowing more of your truest self to shine forth. Understand that emotions represent what you consider to be the subconscious, generally speaking, yes?
Yes.
So the moon is the light in the dark, so you can see with clarity into your subconscious.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, there is another level we have not mentioned yet that we will touch upon. As we have said, the moon is a blend of terrestrial and extraterrestrial materials. So you will also find that should you desire to explore more of your extraterrestrial connections, connecting to the moon, especially as it peaks at its brightness on the full moon, will greatly assist you in relationship to tuning in to those energies. It is of paramount importance to also ensure that you are connecting with your Earth so you can hold those higher lunar energies, because they are very high frequency, and your full moon in that sense is correlated very strongly with your crown chakra. So as you root into your Earth, especially today, as you go from new to full, it will allow for you to build up a certain momentum in relationship to Earth groundedness. So by the time you're at the full moon, you will be able to hold the extraterrestrial energies that are currently working with you.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome, dear one.
Thank you. There's a question from Noah.
Hi, Rio.
Greetings, good day. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, and yourself?
We are delighted and joyful to be able to have this co-creation with you and your civilization.
Thank you. I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa. And is there anything that you could specifically tell me about the energy that's surrounding this area and what the collective consciousness looks like?
Well, in general, there are a great deal of very ancestral energies in relationship to the area you are describing. Beings from the system known as Sirius have periodically throughout your histories made certain voyages to the area you're describing, and they have in that sense interacted with members of that population for millennia. Understand that this area is also, in that sense, highly entangled with the idea of Atlantean energies, for Atlanteans had outposts and certain, you could say, temporary expressions of civilization here in this area during the peak of that civilization's empire. So understand that there are certain energies from the Atlantean times that are playing out here in certain political expressions, in certain fields of innovation and technology.
Yes.
And understand that the beings from Sirius are assisting you in processing this Atlantean energy so you can make more positive choices than the Atlantean ancestors did in relationship to truly creating a version of your local society that you collectively prefer.
I see. Just another...
One moment. We are detecting dolphins and whales are going to be of great service in relationship to bridging these energies, specifically listening to their songs, listening to their music. We are detecting that this will also be of great service to you should you choose to explore the energies we have mentioned thus far. They will act as an intermediary, a bridge between these realities, if you wish.
So just sort of listening to dolphin and whale sounds would assist me, because I remember having a dream specifically where there was a whale connection. So it's funny you should mention that, actually.
Yes. Well, understand, it's very evident within your field. The idea is the following. These beings will show up to you in your dreams, so you begin to meditate upon them, to explore them in certain ways. Because understand, your body has natural shape-shifting capacities. What we mean by this is what you spend your energy focusing upon. It's as if you are energetically within yourself, creating a mirror effect of that object of meditation. Make sense so far?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So as you meditate upon dolphins and whales and listen to their sounds, it's as if your energy becomes more like them, so you can start to think like them. But it's not so much like you're thinking like them, you are thinking like yourself expressed through the unique filter of their energy.
Yes, I
Because
see.
it's never about becoming less of who you are. It's actually about expanding into more of who you are. And you have certain connections, let's just say, to the cetaceans, the idea of the whales and dolphins, and the idea of their home worlds of Sirius, as they are originally from these extraterrestrial locations.
Okay. And just another question, Riok. I
Right.
found that just because of the pandemic that's been happening and the lockdown that we've been in, I found that my state of being, it fluctuates a lot more on a day-to-day basis. And I remember you mentioned the idea of our realities crystallizing. So I do have a bit of a concern that on the days where I find myself maybe exploring more lower density energies, that's eventually going to be the reality I gravitate towards. But of course, I don't want
the reality you gravitate towards if you put that meaning into it.
Right.
Remember, if that shows up on your journey, it's your step. All steps are sacred steps on your journey. So even if an energy you consider to be negative shows up within you, or something you don't prefer shows up within you and is uncomfortable, that's not a problem. That's not a hindrance. That's not a curse, unless it's defined as such. But if you understand, as we have said in this transmission, that it's just a messenger coming up help you understand how you're creating your reality, then you can use it in a creative way by saying, what is this feeling? What is this emotion telling me? What am I attempting to express to myself through this feeling? And that comes from feeling the feeling and listening to your heart, listening to yourself, listening to your song. A negative feeling will never have a negative effect unless it's experienced and applied in a negative way. But if you choose to experience a negative feeling in a positive way and you take a positive action, then it can only have a positive effect.
Right.
It's not about what happens. It's about what you do with what happens that determines the energy you will manifest.
Right. I see. Thank you so much. That clears up a lot for me. Thank you so much.
You are quite welcome, dear one. Our unconditional love to you always.
And to you.
Thank you. There's a request from Suzanne for you to lead us through a meditation that will allow everyone to access the solstice downloads. But if you're going to do that, I would think maybe we could do that at the end. Is that something for you, or?
We will lead you through a meditation collectively, if that is what you prefer. And yes, we would encourage this to be done approximately 20 minutes before the end of the transmission. So that way there will be, in that sense, enough time for questions. And so the overall session can end according to agreed upon timing.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll skip that and then we will do another, we'll keep going on the questions. Dawn, did you want to take some of the questions from the YouTube?
Yes, that'd be great. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, I'm just scrolling back up here just a moment. Okay, this is from Joseph Bannigan. His question is, hello, Riok. Can you give me an estimate of how much energy boosting I would get from flushing my lymphatics?
A tremendous amount of energy. Should you, in that sense, move the lymphatic system, you will accelerate your own natural detoxification process. Understand, toxins in that sense have their own energy. They have, in that sense, their own energetic emanation that they create, so to say, within your body. Now understand, your consciousness creates the toxins, however, they have their own unique energy. So that energy in many ways can oftentimes be lower in vibration and will be correlated with the idea of certain uncomfortable emotions. For understand, many of you have toxicity in terms of chemicals because there are certain levels of unprocessed energies within you that have built up and have become toxic in certain respects. That's one of the reasons you actually, as a species, have a shorter lifespan than your ancestors. It's not so much that you're designed to expire between 80 and 100. It's that you actually have energies within you, so to say, that are related to unprocessed energies that in many ways create a shortening effect on the lifespan. So when you detoxify the body, when you detoxify using the lymphatic system as a sewage system to release, you, in that sense, not only release physical toxins, but you also release what you could consider to be emotions that have built up to a certain level that creates a toxic effect within energy. So you can very greatly assist your body in becoming more like your spirit in that sense being immortal. So as you thoroughly detox the body, especially using the lymph, through brushing, through rebounding, through vibrating, through shaking, through cardio, which all moves the lymph, understand that this will purge out toxin. It will purge out the idea of old emotional energies. So in that sense, you will have more of an empty cup, so to say. So your infinite spirit can then fill that cup up, allowing for your body to become more like your spirit, thus raising your frequency as well as increasing the idea of lifespan potentiality. And understand, you are your reality. So as you make these shifts within yourself, you are shifting to a version of your collective that is in some way, shape, or form an energy match for the shift you have made within yourself.
Thank you.
Yay.
Okay, the next one's from Maggie Zhang. Hello, Ryok. Good day to you. Could you tell me why I keep seeing 1111 for the last 3 years, and what's the particular message for me behind this number?
It relates to the idea of your reality approaching a certain transit point. Understand that, understand that as you approach this point, it will be as if your reality splits into different directions. Understand that you will gravitate to one of those split off directions that is a match for your overall energy. So in many ways, what it is saying is your reality is about to shift. It's about to change. And it is going to change very dramatically in a way that is in alignment with your energy. So think of it like this. It is both a number of transformation and change and a number of crystallization and manifestation. So what we would encourage you to do is the following. Act as if, live as if you are your highest preferred version of yourself, doing all of the things in your life that preferred you would do. Live as she would live. Act as she would act. Speak as she would speak. Think as she would think. Become a living symbol for this preferred self. Have fun with it. Let it be a game. Understand, nothing is lost through playing with yourself in that way. You're simply experiencing yourself from a bigger point of view through your imagination. And as you live into this, when you reach that point of transition, the split off point, you will slingshot into a manifestation direction that is a match for that energy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yay.
The next one is from Veritas Legionus, and his question is, I am concerned that there will be an apocalyptic event on Earth by the end of the year, followed by the tribulation of the following March. Can you confirm?
Understand, apocalypse simply translates into revealing or unveiling, a revelation. So understand, There have already been many revelations this year. There will be more revelations, more unveilings of information in the years to come, more darkness brought to light. In other words, more of your consciousness cast upon that which has been present in your civilization, but obscured in the shadows so you can integrate it in a positive way. As we have said, whatever your reality hands you is technically taking place within its own separate reality. So in other words, when you experience a news story, when you experience another person, those are literal different other realities that are separated from your reality by vibration. If you don't prefer to experience that reality, don't match its vibration. If it elicits fear within you, if it elicits hatred within you, understand that's your own feeling, and it is for you to play with. It is for you to feel. It is for you to integrate. And as you integrate those feelings through applying unconditional love towards them, you will begin to experience the feeling from a 360-degree point of view, so you can begin to understand why the feeling's there, how it's guiding you. Understand that what you consider to be uncomfortable emotions only exist within you because of a belief system you're telling yourself. Think of it like this. The belief system is a particular stage for a certain movie. The emotion is a prop on that stage. That prop becomes irrelevant if you change the theme of the movie, if you change the belief system. So in other words, when you experience fear, when you experience anxiety, when you experience anger, let yourself feel them from the perspective of love so you can see them in 360 degrees. And then ask yourself the question, what must I believe to be true about myself in order to experience this feeling? And allow for your own imagination to deliver you that answer. Whatever comes up, understand it's inherently false. It's true in relationship to that. It will create a certain effect in your reality and it will work. But in terms of what it actually is, it's a false story that's not in alignment with who you are as a being. So whenever you experience fear, anger, anxiety, hatred, it is only emerging within you to let you know you're buying into a belief system that's not true for you. So ask yourself the question from the point of view of love, of what must I believe about myself to be true in order to experience this feeling? Whatever comes up, cross-reference it against what our civilization has called the three fundamentals. I am unconditional love. I am an immortal, indestructible being. I am unconditionally co-creating my reality. If the belief system that emerges within you does not line up with those three fundamentals, you can rest assured it's false and it can then be let go. For you will find that if it does not add up to those three fundamentals, if it's contradictory to those three fundamentals, it's inherently false and you can let it go. And that is how you release, so to say, the beliefs, thus resolving the idea of the emotion. And this is a tool you can use, and all of you can use in relationship to whatever feelings emerge within yourself in relationship to what you experience both internally and externally in your physical reality experience.
Thank you, Ryok.
Yes, and thank you for delivering this question.
I have just one more question I would like to ask because this is a person in pain.
All right.
This is from a lady by the name of Carol Lorty. I am asking for healing, please. I fell like a plank of wood on a cement floor, and her back and ribs are in pain. Can you assist, please?
All right. Understand, we are currently beaming energies at your body. Allow for yourself to breathe very slowly from the belly into whatever areas feel painful. And as you inhale into these areas, release a long sigh. And this will assist you in letting go of resistances. For understand, all pain comes from resistance to the natural self. So the more you can release resistances to who you are, to what you are, the less pain you will experience. So allow for yourself to breathe into these areas. Understand your lungs are major organs of detoxification. And as we have said, toxins are correspondent to the idea of emotional issues that oftentimes are uncomfortable, that have built up to a certain level of energetic toxicity. So as you breathe and you detoxify from the lungs, you are also releasing some of these energies that are related to resistances to the natural self. So allow for yourself to breathe. Understand that when pain is present, so is its polar opposite, pleasure. When pain is present, so is pleasure. They are, in that sense, yin and yang of one another. They are opposite sides of the duality. Pain on one side, pleasure on another. If you have pain, you must have pleasure. It is the allowance of the natural self that assists you in seeing the pleasure that is your true being, the euphoria, the bliss that is your natural state. The neutral zone will assist you in balancing these polarities. The breath. That is why breathing is one of the most fundamental meditation techniques of your world, because it brings you back to the neutral zone, which again, as we have said, is slightly positive, so you can then go deeper into your true nature. And as you choose your true nature in deeper and deeper ways, the less pain you will experience. We will continue to pulsate certain energetics towards you, towards your reality, so it can become easier for you to go into the neutral zone so you can go deeper into the positive. Now, as we have said again, and we are simply repeating ourselves because in many ways, this is what we are asked to do by certain members of your civilization in order for us to say these things. What we say in that sense is never medical advice. These are simply tools that can assist you in well-being. Continue to explore whatever medical modalities you are being recommended or are exploring. But understand, the breathing in that sense will be paramount in relationship to wellness and will likely greatly assist and serve you.
Thank you, Ryok. I return control now to Karen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, there's a question from David.
Hello.
Greetings, good day. How are you?
Good. So I'm interested in two questions. Am I able to ask a question in light language to see what would be for my highest good in that way?
If you wish, understand the channel in that sense is programmed to primarily understand English. However, it's likely his psychic senses will be able to discern the underlying energies of the light language, and we will in that sense respond accordingly to whatever aspects of the energy the translation device, i.e. the channel, is able to pick up from what you have said.
Okay.
If you wish for a more specific answer, though, we would encourage you ask in English.
Okay. Some of the challenges right now that seem pretty extreme are with changes in financial situation and the ability to support oneself. Can you give any guidance on things when things like that are happening so me and other people can?
You support your reality. Your reality does not support you. You support your reality. You support your reality through your belief systems. What seems like your support, your money, your income, your job, is only an externalized reflection of your own inner beliefs about abundance, your own inner beliefs about sustainability, your own inner beliefs about freedom, your own inner beliefs about your survival. All of these subjects create the idea of external expressions of what you consider to be jobs, income, money. The reason all of this is rearranging, the reason all this is shifting is because many of you recognize that it doesn't really work in relationship to your highest preference. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a bad system, but you all recognize it's not balanced. It's not fundamentally serving your collective in a positive way. So the reason it seems certain things are folding in certain realities in relationship to economies is because you're all collectively inside of yourselves updating new definitions about abundance, new definitions about self-worth, new definitions about value, because all of these things create your externalized experience of an economy. The reason all that's breaking down in certain realities externally is because you're breaking those concepts down within yourselves so you can create new concepts. Are you with us so far?
Yes.
Now, understand, you have infinite value. You have infinite worth, and you are infinitely abundant, for you are your reality. Think of all of the fruit trees that are growing. Think of all of the brilliant ideas that are showing up in everyone's mind. Think of all of the gifts that everyone is receiving. Think of all of the trade that everyone is engaged in. All of this is you. The success of others, the profit of others, is in that sense, in some way, an extension of your own abundance because you are the reality. With us so far?
Yes.
As you define your value as infinite, as you define your worth as infinite, as you define your abundance as infinite, it will allow for you to, in that sense, magnetize certain reality experiences towards you, in that sense, that in many ways express these new definitions. Now, understand that many of you have been taught that in order to earn a living, I must sacrifice myself and do something that I despise. I must do something I don't prefer. I must somehow martyr who I am to make a living. You are a living. You don't need to make one. You already are life. You make a living, so to say, in the highest way through expressing your natural self. So you will find that your passions will translate as skills. Follow us so far?
Oh, yeah.
If you are learning and practicing and engaging in a skill or service, that's an extension of your passion. It's an extension of your natural self. Therefore, it will be an embodiment of the qualities of those natural selves. It will be infinitely abundant. It will be immortal, indestructible. And it will mirror that underlying idea of I support my reality. Now understand, as you follow your passion, as you follow the idea of you blossoming certain passion energies into skills, remember, have no expectation of what needs to occur. You may find one skill that you cultivate may actually lead you to another skill that leads you to another skill, but understand they're all connected. And all of these skills can translate as a form of abundance magnetization. In other words, you will find that your skill can be something you trade. Your skill can be something in that sense that is profitable. So in that sense, let your new economy be based upon your passion, be based upon your joy. And that's how you birth an economy that's not based on greed, but is based on unconditional love. For greed only becomes relevant, so to say, in terms of a theme, when you are in a mentality of scarcity, which comes from fear-based beliefs related to abundance. Our civilization, particularly the being you know as Bashar, has brought through a particular definition of abundance that we will share here. Abundance, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. With that definition of abundance, it becomes clear that all of you are quite abundant. So begin to identify with abundance as an expression, as an extension of your natural state. And that quality will then begin to appreciate. Just like your money, it will grow and grow and grow. And as you take inspired actions upon these energies with no expectation of what they need to do, what they need to look like, as we have said, you are guaranteed to receive that which you put out. Having no expectation allows for you to receive it in whatever way, shape, or form is most relevant for you. When you expect it to look a certain way, or you expect it to produce a certain effect, you're actually pigeonholing how greatly it can manifest. And it's as if it's manifesting over here, but you're busy looking over there. So simply know that that energy ripples, that energy magnifies, that energy magnetizes. And whenever you say, I don't have any evidence of these energies being present in my reality, ask yourself the question, are you still in the state? If you can feel the energy in yourself of abundance, of joy, of passion, then it's technically in your reality. And the longer it is sustained, the more deeply it is embodied, the more it will grow, and the greater of a reflection you will perceive in your externalized experience.
Wow, that was beautiful.
As are you, dear one. Did that answer your question fully?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah, I understand a lot of that. I'll have to listen to it again and really soak it in.
Understand.
Can I ask the one in the light language to see what comes about for that?
If you prefer, allow for yourself to do so.
O tu rahatua hashikia, o tu tuesha, akia rahato, o tu manahanea skrita skura o tuesha, shia kanahato, o tueshana hetewe, shikia lahato.
All right. We thank you for sharing what you have shared. We are going to deliver some concepts to you now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Connecting to the idea of certain native peoples of your regions of the colder climates in relationship to Arctic climates, which you may have called in certain cultures Eskimos, certain people of Siberia, understanding that these ancient people have deep understandings in relationship to stars, in relationship to the idea of the northern lights. And understand that these particular frequencies of color emanations are delivering very deep extra-dimensional energies to all of you. And the energies you have spoken are very much connected to these people and are very much connected to these natural expressions of energy. Should you focus upon them and explore them in different ways, you may find it will open up an entire pathway of exploration for you. All right?
All right. That's great.
Yay.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. Our unconditional love to you always, dear one.
Thank you. Okay. The next question is from George.
Hello, Rigo.
Greetings, good day. Speak
It's
up,
great to
please.
speak with you.
We may hear you with greater clarity.
Perfect. Lately, I've been experiencing some difficulties with sleep, insomnia, actually.
All right.
And I was wondering what this is about. Maybe my vibration is raising or something negative or...
Well, remember, it's only negative if you define it in a negative way. Does it serve you to define it in a negative way?
Of course not.
All right. So why not define it in a positive way? How is this serving you? Why would you manifest such a thing? In other words, what are you attempting to teach yourself through this experience?
All right. Perfect. Yeah, I will try.
Yay. We can explore this with you here if you wish. However,
yes.
Understand it's a question you can review at any point within your journey.
Perfect. Yeah, if you could also help a little bit more, yeah, I would really appreciate it.
All right. Understand that in general, one of the reasons many of you experience the concept of insomnia is because many of you are out of phase with the idea of your natural circadian rhythms in relationship to the Earth's rotation and your cycles of night and day. Barefoot on your planet for a minimum of 20 minutes will assist you in restoring the circadian rhythm. Being in nature, being immersed in forests, in natural landscapes, particularly barefoot, will deeply assist you in restoring the circadian rhythm. Getting sunlight on your body will assist you in restoring the circadian rhythm. Letting go of certain foods that are correlated with certain hormonal imbalances will assist you in restoring circadian rhythm. Reduction of sugar, processed sugar, will assist you in restoring the circadian rhythm. And avoiding, so to say, or using protective eye gear at night in relationship to exposure to blue light fluorescent lighting will also assist you. Hydration is also key, making sure you are getting enough fluids. Now, from a physicalized standpoint and an electromagnetic standpoint and a cellular hormonal standpoint, all of these things will very greatly balance the idea of the circadian rhythm. So you experience, in that sense, less insomnia. Now, understand, people are only out of balance externally because in some way they are out of balance with their natural selves internally, which is why we encouraged you to ask that question of yourself. What am I attempting to teach myself here? What am I learning from this experience? Understand, there are certain emotions that you are feeling in relationship to your insomnia, yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the saying on your planet that an individual can sleep at night when they have, in that sense, a clean conscience? Are you familiar with this idea?
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So understand that oftentimes when there is insomnia patterns, generally speaking, it relates to certain emotions, certain beliefs that are, in that sense, you could say, poking the brain, saying, I need attention, I need attention, I need attention, I need attention. And they're coming up at night because generally speaking, that's when you dream. And that's when you would normally process these things. Because of certain resistances to these energies, it in many ways creates a certain feedback loop where it becomes more challenging to sleep because aspects of the consciousness are resistant to processing this. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
So in other words, apply, so to say, these balancing exercises if you are excited to. Again, this is not medical advice. This is simply us sharing that which is in resonance with the naturalistic qualities of your people. But understand, through balancing yourself in these ways, it will allow for you to have a clearer perspective so you can observe the feelings, you can observe the emotions within you that, again, are simply doing their best to point you towards the negative belief systems that inspire their existence in the first place. So, were you on the call for the aspect of the call where we describe the process of transforming the idea of the belief systems?
Yes.
All right. Allow for yourself to apply this. And you will find that there will likely be a great deal of belief systems that you are able to release that will assist you in the idea of relaxing so you can more easily fall asleep at night.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Can I ask something else?
Yes, that is all right.
Okay, I'm trying to communicate with my hybrid children. I was giving a name. It is Thomas. I don't know if you can look that up.
One moment. Yes, we are observing this being currently.
So it is my hybrid child.
Yes, we'll understand. Names oftentimes are simply given so you can begin to create a telepathic bridge of awareness between you and them. You may find the name will change as you develop a very deep awareness with this being, but understand, yes, you are connecting to a being. We are observing the being currently.
And I also have the name Galiel.
Please
the name Galiel.
Please repeat yourself.
I also have a name Galiel. I don't know if it is another.
Yes. You are connecting with them.
Is this another incarnation or?
Yes, we are detecting that. One moment. This being is related to the civilization you understand to be Atlantis, another incarnation of your soul, so to say, another parallel self.
Perfect.
All right. Anything else for you this day of your time?
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
All right. Our unconditional love to you, and we thank you for the co-creation.
Thank you very much. Love you too.
Thank you. Okay, there is a question. One moment, let me just go back up. So, sorry for this, one moment.
That's all right.
There is a question from Lucid.
Hello?
Greetings, Lucid. How is your dream?
Yes, I'd like to ask you a question. I have a guide or a presence that's near me that identifies himself as David. I would like to know more about this being.
All right. Well, have you asked this being about this being's self?
Well, it seems related to my, yes, I have, but there's like a blind spot. I usually can communicate well with guides, but in this case, I can't really. So I'd like your help.
All right. Well, may we ask you some questions?
Yes.
All right. When you attempt to communicate with this guide and the signal is funny, are there any emotional reactions within yourself?
Yes, I feel a strong emotional reaction.
Yeah, understand that
connection.
Emotional reaction is partially related to the idea of the obfuscated communication stream.
Okay.
Processing this emotion will assist you in clearing up that connection.
Perfect. Okay. And one more question. I had a dream where a shaman played a note through, I was lucid or out of body, I'm not sure. And the shaman played a sound with a clay flute that reverberated throughout my body. And I'd like to know what effect that sound was having on me.
Neutralization of belief systems and energies within you. So in that sense, from the neutral point of view, your consciousness would have more of a blank slate perspective. So you, in that sense, could begin a new path for yourself from square one.
Okay. Okay, one more question, just about the golden ratio. If we contemplate the golden ratio, what effect does that have on our body?
It assists you in understanding the idea of the natural rotational energies of your planets, your planet, the stars, so to say, and it assists you in the idea of drawing upon those rotational energies to increase your own frequency. How you apply that increased frequency of energy is up to you. However, it will, in that sense, increase the potency of your own manifestation capacities. Your manifestations in that sense will become bigger, more dramatic in multiple ways. But understand, it relates to rotational energies of celestial bodies, as well as the idea of the rotational energies of consciousness itself.
Okay, Ryuk, thank you very, very much.
Yes, and we thank you for your questions, dear one.
Thank you. There's a question from Maria.
All right.
Yes, hello.
Greetings, good day, how are you?
Thank you, thank you. I hope you are well too. So my first question is about myself, if I may. As you can read, you can see my energies, feelings, emotions, blockages, whatever. Can you give me any message that I need now?
One message we would give you is the following. Learn about yourself. Learn about your spirit. Learn about the life force energy that you are. Get to know it. Get familiar with it. Get cozy with it. Because understand, when you are cozy with it, when you are familiar with it, when you begin to know it, you will become aware of all of the things you have just asked us.
Mm-hmm.
So understand, that's where it would serve you the greatest from our perspective to begin. What does your life force feel like? What does the force that beats your heart feel like? What does your breath feel like? Go into the feeling of these things. What does your nervous system, your electricity feel like? Go into the idea of that pulsating life force that you are, that emanates from the core of your immortal consciousness, and begin to develop that felt relationship, like you're dancing with a partner. Begin to feel that rhythm, feel that momentum, and then begin to ask yourself, how may I express this life force that I am? And begin to take steps of expression of that life force, and you will then begin to see yourself manifested in greater ways in your external reality, thus illuminating even greater clarity into that which you are. For you will be able to see in that sense your own ripple effect from your own action in whatever way is relevant for you. This provides more clarity. This provides more contextual understanding into your true nature and how you are creating your reality. And when you continue to follow your passion and your joy and you express yourself in these ways, you will notice that you are in many ways connecting certain dots through your actions. And you will begin to understand through connecting all of those dots some of your themes, some of your core archetypal themes of exploration. This will assist you even more greatly. But that's step one. Get to feel yourself, get to know yourself. Understand many of you are slightly opposed to really embracing yourself totally. And this has to do with certain core belief systems that many of you are using about who you are at your core. So many of you choose to believe that somehow you are not worthy, you are incapable, you are evil. Understand, your core energy is unconditional love. Whenever you are exploring your innermost self, and maybe it feels a little scary or it feels a little shaky, rest upon the three fundamentals we have mentioned. I am unconditional love. I am an immortal, indestructible being, and I am unconditionally creating everything in my reality. That will be like a flashlight, so you can shine as far as you need to shine within the infinite vastness of your inner self.
Thank you.
Yes, and we thank you for your question, dear one. To you all.
I would like to ask about Sirius that you mentioned.
All right.
Is it possible, what I've heard, that a stargate from Earth to Sirius will be open at the end of this month?
Yes. Yes. Understand it's currently beginning its opening process, and it will peak near the end of the month. You are accurate in this. And this is why we are delivering next week's transmission messages from the ocean, because of this portal opening.
Mm-hmm. And have I got anything to do with this? Do I have any task?
Well, your task, your only task, is to be yourself. Follow your imagination. Just as there are infinite varieties of dance moves one could select to a song that they enjoy, look at your life, look at the energy, look at the now, and say, what is the most exciting way I could express myself here in these situations? Begin to express those dance moves of passion. Be yourself. That's your only task. All other tasks come from that. All other purposes come from that core purpose. If you're not embodying that core purpose, you can never fully fulfill any secondary task or purpose. Make sense?
Thank you. Yes. And do Hungarian people have any special connection to Sirius?
There are certain genetic traits that are expressed in these individuals that are related to certain extraterrestrial genetics that are correlated with the idea of Syrian beings. And it's not limited to the idea of Hungarian people. There are many peoples of your earth that share a great deal of similar genetic factors.
Thank you. The last one is a short one. My implants, my contracted implants, are they related to you? I mean, are they here by you, by your people?
Not so much from us, more so from the Greys. However, understand that these implants allow for you to become more sensitive to our energies as a side effect, as well as increasing your sensitivity to the energetics of other hybrid species.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, you are quite welcome, dear one.
We have time for one last question, and I took the decision, since there's so many questions, to skip the meditation. So maybe that can happen on another time. But I wanted to give everyone that I could get to a question. Alex will have the last question, if you're still there.
We will
Go
make
ahead, Alex.
one announcement now
Yes.
for all of you. The meditation that you have requested will be delivered today. And if you visit the channel's YouTube page, you will find it posted in its fullness there.
Perfect. Okay. We have about 6 minutes scheduled left. Alex, if you're ready, you can ask your question.
Hello, I'm sorry, I was writing that down. Hello, Ryok, it's been a pleasure to hear you today.
Yes, and it is a pleasure to hear you as well, dear one. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'd like to give you a little bit of information about my reality and I guess just ask for guidance or just see whatever's fit. But a lot of the things you've been helping with the others have been deeply resonating for me, and it's almost like I'm going through a little checklist. I feel like I've been very blessed to experience miracles upon miracles and manifestations upon manifestations of being able to pursue my true self. And I'm getting to know it, getting to know her a lot better. I'm embracing my Mayan lineage. I believe that that runs very deep in me, and it's been making things, I think, all the more intense. I've been in contact with the Galactic Federation of Light throughout these recent months, and working and just getting familiar with their energies. And I think that they really want to work with me, and I'm becoming more open to doing that, so much that it's blending into my 3D reality. As I've been activating a lot of my friends. I just recently graduated college, and so I'm in a college town with friends, and I've just been able to, I guess, channel their star races for them, and it doesn't seem like it's overwhelming them. It seems like it's all happening in divine timing, which like reassures me. But I guess I want to make sure that I'm not overstepping, I guess. Like, I feel very passionate to normalize the awakening process. And I don't know what the boundaries are in this changing world, because with everything going on, like, I guess I'm just trying to make sure that I'm on the right track.
You're asking them if you can channel for them, yes? Or they're asking you?
It's like I haven't realized that the different frequencies I have kind of represent different star races I'm connected to, and I'm able to tell them which ones they are connecting to, and that activates them into having their own experiences, and they come back and tell me about it.
Yes, yes. And when you are sharing this stuff, you are getting permission?
Yes, I make sure that it's okay, like with consent, if they are willing to receive the information.
Then where is there a boundary violation? If they're agreeing to it, how could you be violating any type of boundary? And it's something you're passionate about, yes?
I'm extremely passionate about it. I feel like I'm supposed to normalize it into this society, but that's a big mission.
Yes. We are going, if you wish, we can share something with you.
I'd love that.
In relationship to what may be happening within yourself that creates some of these questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you wish, investigate your definitions about expressing your passion and expressing your joy, and ensure that these definitions are up to date. Because what we gather is that there may be a definition about expressing your purpose, expressing who you are, that has certain misaligned wordings within it that relate to the idea of, if I fully express myself, I will somehow step on someone's toes. Does that make sense?
I think I've been scared of the spotlight. I feel like I have a lot to say that's relevant to the society, and I'm trying to step into embracing my voice and my sovereign power.
Yes, yes. All right, all right. Well, allow for yourself to explore this area, because where you feel that fear is really just an invitation for transformation. There's really nothing to be afraid of in relationship to fear, because it's all your own energy.
Of course.
And as we have said, the underlying beliefs that generate that fear are intrinsically false. So rest assured, when you feel fear, simply recognize when you choose to embrace that and explore that, you're walking into a fun house. You're walking into a house of mirrors that's based on the idea of literal illusion, smoke and mirrors. There's nothing there but your own reflection.
Wow, that is very uplifting. Thank you. I very much appreciate that. And I just appreciate your time today and being able to connect with you.
Yes, yes. And we appreciate you, dear one. And we thank you for your sharings with us and others. And we wish you a good day. Is there anything else you would like to explore as one final question?
I guess I don't know if there's a specific star race that I should be working with, or more so I'm trying to open up my connections to all of them, but I don't know how to make this a more fluid process to where they can see. I think I've been channeling more frequently, but I just don't know if there's anything else I should be doing with the solstice to really invite this.
Well, understand, following your passion is really all you need to do as an underlying principle. One step at a time. Pick one passion-based action that is more passionate than the rest. Follow it to the best of your ability till you cannot follow it any further with zero insistence of any particular outcome, and then pick the next most exciting option. Point to point to point. That's all you really need to do. That's the formula the Bashar has brought through, and that being brought it through because that's how our civilization operates. That's how we have reached this point within our own evolutionary journey.
Wow. Thank you so much for this advice. I really resonate with it.
Yes, yes, you are quite welcome, dear one. Our unconditional love to you, and we will share one other thing for you in relationship to understanding stars and your connections to them. And this is something that each of you can explore if you wish. Allow for yourself to have a picture of the constellations. All of the night sky displayed on some kind of paper. And simply pay attention to which one captures your eye the most. You can even take your finger and trace from star to star the lines of the constellations, drawing them. You can even take a colored pencil or a marker, trace them, color them. And pay attention to which ones elicit the highest of frequencies within you. You will find that these are likely the ones that are most relevant for you at this phase. Different ones will be relevant for you at different times. But this is an exercise you can use to begin to understand more of your stellar relationships that are currently engaging actively with you.
Thank you so much for that advice. I look forward to experiencing this.
Yes, yes, you are quite welcome.
Thank you. And Ryok, we are out of time.
All right.
So I want to, on behalf of everyone, thank you once again for your wonderful sharing and your incredible wisdom and your willingness to co-create this moment with us. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing you as soon as possible again.
We thank you so much for the co-creation.
Forward to experiencing this.
Enjoy to all of you eternally, and we wish you all a good day and pleasant dreams.
Thank you. Yay.
Hey.
He's back.
I'm back. Made it.
Okay, so just before you go, because I know you want to run, but you're doing something live on YouTube later today. You can invite everyone.
Yeah. So everyone feel free to join in. This will be, I don't know how to do YouTube live, so this might just be a video that I post.
Sure.
Go ahead and tune in, but I'll be channeling Ryok, and it'll be the solstice thing. He pretty much asked me when you made that announcement if I wanted to do that, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then he made the announcement to all of you. So I'll do that today. That's probably going to be, I would say, around 4 p.m., between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just check out the YouTube page then, and I'll have the solstice meditation up so y'all can can tune in for that.
Okay, perfect. And then again, once again, give your details where people can contact you and
Sure.
everything.
If you desire sessions, email me at tellison700@gmail.com. So that's like my name, T Ellison, Tyler Ellison, but tellison700@gmail.com. It's the easiest way to contact me. I normally respond within 24 hours. Check out Health Thyself. That's the YouTube page. And I will soon have my new business page up. So stay tuned for my YouTube channel. I'll make an announcement on there when that's up, and that will have everything all in one place.
Okay, perfect. All right, everyone, thank you very much, and we will see you next week. Much love. Like and subscribe if you have not. And Tyler, once again, lovely to see you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome everyone that was new in the room, and we hope to see you again next week too.
Thank you for having me, Karen. Great to see everybody. Unconditional love.
Bye. Peace
Thank you,
out.
Tyler.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank